Yo, 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 yo. Right. Guess we will start on time tonight. Yeah. Welcome to episode 29 of Chop 15 with Jay Walker. Hope everybody is in good health and spirits tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. My guest is someone I've known, since high school. We competed against each other in football and track. Through the years, we had mutual friends, hooked back up, and had a kind of a mutual love for photography. He's just a dope brother, man. He's involved in a lot of things in the city, a lot of positive things, and he's just a good dude, man. Let me go ahead and bring Shoot First, aka Tony Montgomery, into the chat. What's good, man?
Hey, what's going on?
Not too much, man. Not too much. What's
What's
good
up?
with you? How you doing?
Man, I'm all right. Yeah, we just gonna go with all right. Let's go with all right. How about yourself? How you doing?
Man, I can pretty much say the same thing, man. Yeah, that's a pretty accurate word right now. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. No, I'm good though. I'm good, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah. So, man. Thank you for making time, man.
Hey, no
Been
problem,
somebody I
man.
wanted to talk to.
No, I appreciate it. It was one of those things that I was going back and forth on because I'm used to being behind the camera and not in front of it.
I know.
So it was one of those things. It was like, that's my boy and all, but I don't know. But no, we here, man. We about to chop it up. That's what's up.
Shit, man. Well, how have things been for you during this whole roller coaster that we've known as COVID? We went through the super lockdown, and then they opened it up, and now you see everything going bad again. So, you know what I'm saying? How are you handling things? Or how have you been handling things?
Well, I mean, as far as like, work and stuff, I've stayed consistently busy. So that's been a good thing. With the start of all of this, at the beginning of it, I lost my grandmother. So I don't want to say it was COVID related, but you know what I'm saying? Just the underlying issues, the, things that were stated, it kind of made me wonder. And so, for the first half of it, it was just really trying to deal with that, trying to stay focused, which, my mind was just pretty much on her. So I wasn't really doing a whole lot, other than the just routine, getting up, working out, working, hanging with family, trying to deal with that. And then, with COVID-19 and all this stuff and the restrictions, it was that frustrating part of not even being able to have a proper funeral. So yeah. So, everything was super rushed, and it felt like a dream for the most part. And so as things progressed, it was like continuing to stay busy and stay focused. It's been a weird roller coaster, man. Like it's one of those weird dreams where you think you awake, and every time you like, okay, I'm awake, this is real, something crazier happens.
Yeah, that's what it seems like, man. That's definitely what it seems like. I could agree with that.
Yeah. So, with things opening back up, it's still a little leery. I don't want to rush back into things only because I don't know, what lies ahead. I'd like to be optimistic, but 2020 has told me that optimism is a funny thing. So yeah, just taking it day by day, man, as things come along and seeing where it goes.
Yeah.
What about you?
Now, have you been able to work from home?
Yeah. Mostly everything. Okay. If I go into the office, it's only for a quick minute, but everything that I've been doing has primarily been at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and that's from, Zoom. Zoom is a great thing. It's a great piece of technology to have. Yeah. So, conducting business on that, conducting meetings, facilitating professional learning sessions. it's all been, cool because I get to do it from home. I wear a polo up top, but I'm wearing some, basketball shorts. So it's good. It's good. I enjoy that. I enjoy that aspect of it.
For sure, man. That's what's up, man. So how's the family? How's it been with the family?
Um, it's been interesting, with, the whole doing the schooling at home online, trying to make sure that the boys had access to the times needed for them to get on Zoom calls with their teachers, doing these little
Yeah.
packets that the district was supplying. It was a unique challenge, but it was a bonding moment, So although I'm pretty sure that they would much rather been with their friends than hanging out with me at home, they for the most part they are handling it fairly well, and we all are trying not to annoy my wife too much. Yes.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, just trying to stay out the way.
So I know that you are very involved in social issues and social justice out here in Reno.
Yeah.
What have been your thoughts on what's been going on?
As far as out in Reno, or just far as what's going on in the world?
Well, we can start. Let's start with the world, and then we'll bring it local after that.
Okay. I think in the world, just the accumulation of things from the stress of COVID to, underlining issues that have always been here. And it's always interesting that, when things like this come up, you have groups of people who are just so surprised because they didn't think that these things still went on. And so I believe that, it hit a boiling point. And so we are now, although it seems for some, because media isn't covering it the same, that it's simmered, it's still at that boiling point. And, things will, unless they're addressed, will continue to escalate. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, that's what I'm noticing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, it's like, the media isn't covering it, but protesting is still happening. The media isn't covering it, but, issues around police brutality is still happening. And it's happening to our Black and brown brothers and sisters. And it's, it's one of those things, well, they should just comply. Well, what does that mean exactly? And if I'm beating your butt, chances are you're going to try to fight for your life if that's the way you feel. So, it's one of those frustrating things that you see going on. And then, as being a Black man, as being a father of Black boys, it makes me nervous. What if, say that again?
I said, of course. I can only imagine being a father, you know what I'm saying, and having young boys to deal with and having to have that talk with them and all that. Have you had to do that yet?
Yeah. I mean, but, with the work that I do, and unfortunately and unfortunately, my work comes home with me. So they are privy to conversations. They are privy to the work and understand, for the most part, from a child's perspective, they understand the work that I do. So with this going on, they have those concerns. We don't talk negatively about anyone, but yet they have concerns about police. They don't know how to approach or how to, handle or be in a situation where police are around. My youngest, who's 6, he's like, are they going to beat me? Are they going to arrest me? And it's one of those conversations that it sucks, because you think, with 6 and 9-year-olds, you want to allow them to be as innocent as possible for as long as they can. Unfortunately, society has put a age limit on, young boys of color, where it's like, nah, at some point you go from being, a young kid to now you're a grown man. You're a threat.
Yeah.
You think you start to think about, incidences. Tamir Rice. Tamir Rice was how old? And yet these things happen in a park. And see, the crazy part about that one, just that incident alone, was they didn't tell you that he was in a park with his sister. So his 14-year-old sister, yeah. So he had a 14-year-old sister. His sister saw him get shot. His sister was detained. and detained in a way that is like, how do you come back from that as a 14-year-old watching your brother get shot in cold blood?
Yeah.
So
By
as
the
a
police.
father, how do I allow my kids to go to the park unsupervised, not knowing if someone's going to call because they believe that they see something and it not being true?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
you get someone who is overzealous and approaching that situation the way it happened. So it makes me nervous, man. It honestly makes me nervous. And
Yeah.
I know that they say things are getting better, but I'm still trying to figure out where and when
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
who they're getting better for.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, even since the protests have started, how many black folks have been found hung from trees, like talking about suicides? Like, what
Yeah.
is? I mean, is any black person in their right mind going to commit suicide by hanging themselves from a tree?
You know what? I don't know
Like,
because again,
I mean, it's not impossible. I'm not going to say it's
right,
not impossible,
right.
but it
But as
just seems
many in
highly
a short
unlikely
amount
to
of
me.
time, that right there it's super suspicious.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say, it's like you talking about black people shooting one another, that's more believable. But you talking about in different areas of the country, all in a matter of a week or two,
Yeah.
individuals being hung and then being hung in public places.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those that's interesting. And Palmdale, I live there, so it's very it's very possible. I'm not going to say likely, but it's very
Mm-hmm.
possible that could have stemmed from something racial.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anybody in LA knowing about Palmdale knows that it's a different
It's
type
kind
of
of racist out there.
yeah, super.
Mm.
So and this, like I said, this is coming from experience, not like, oh, I've heard about it. No, I've seen
Yeah.
out in that area. So yeah.
Now, what do you think, closer to home? What do you think about what's been going on here?
It's funny here because you have so many people who believe that because Reno is as small as it is, that it couldn't possibly be happening here. You know,
Oh,
these things systemically aren't going to affect us the way that it affects LA, the way that it affects Chicago, the way that it affects New York. But it's
mm-hmm.
like, when did racism decide where it was and wasn't going to be?
True.
I've never seen systemic racism go to it, walk to an area and say, nah, you know what? They're good. We're not going to allow racism to happen here. It's not possible. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you've seen little things, but like I've seen different, videos of incidents that have happened here, whether it
Mm-hmm.
be, focused on someone who's Hispanic or someone who is, black, but you've
Mm-hmm.
definitely, or someone who is Asian, you've definitely seen the ugly in people come out. And, the crazy
Yeah.
thing with video now, it's like you're actually seeing it in real time. And it's unfortunate because even seeing it in real time, for some people, it's like, well, what made them do that? And if that's a question that someone has to ask, they need to really check themselves and reflect on themselves. And why in the hell is that a question that needs to be asked when you see what's going on?
Why are you so detached that you don't know the answer?
Right, right. Or don't want to know the answer.
Yeah.
Or don't believe the answer when it's presented in front of you,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not your lived experience. You think you're not racist. So if I'm not racist, that means I should give somebody else the benefit of the doubt. But you never know. So
Yeah.
I've seen people who out here where they've they've given a lot of pillow talk,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of, I'm for Black Lives Matter. I believe these things, which that was interesting. So, obviously I had images that I took from the Black Lives
Mm-hmm.
Matter rally that presented itself out here.
Yeah.
And it was super interesting. And it was interesting in the fact that you had a number of people who were out there who were talking about Black Lives Matter, who had signs about Black Lives Matter,
Mm-hmm.
but wouldn't talk to black people. So
So people that were there, you're supposedly there for the same thing, but you're not talking to the people that you're there protesting in
yes,
support of.
yes, there was still, and again, it could have been a number of things. It could have been, I don't know how, what, I can't speak for anybody else, so I don't know what their feelings were or why they chose not to. But it was definitely
Right.
something that made me walk away with trying to figure out, if you are here for a reason to show solidarity, but you refuse to connect with or talk to anyone who looks different, why are you really here? Is it just,
That's a very good question. That's a very good
is it,
question.
yeah, is it just one of those things where I just want to show face? Or is it, what's the, and I, again,
Trending.
I can't answer. I can't answer for someone else, but it just made me question, people's agendas.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Now, what organizations are you involved with out here?
so currently I am involved with NEPCIS, which is Northern Nevada Black Cultural Awareness Society. So they
Mm-hmm.
put on the MLK dinner yearly.
Okay.
They also do the Juneteenth celebration, which unfortunately, due to COVID this year,
Mm-hmm.
was canceled. Um, and they do a lot of things within the community during different times in the year. So, there's a mentoring program that's up and coming that we participate in. There's
Okay.
um, there's a few things, and then the president now, Caprice Young, she is also over a group called Shades of Queenie, and that's a
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool group of young ladies who are doing things for young ladies of color, where they're actually going into schools, they're actually doing different groups and activities where it involves young ladies from as young as preschool all the way up to our more seasoned women in the community. So that's pretty cool. But
Okay.
like, as far as group big organizations, there's not a whole lot concerning the plight of Black people out here. You know,
Yeah.
and one that I briefly mentioned to you, just in conversation, was that positive Black male image, and that's the
Yeah.
one that I've been putting together and working on, and just trying to get the parts in place before I try to launch anything. Only because there's always so many different moving parts, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's if I did it by myself, I don't think it would land as big, or not even as big, but as in a way that I would want it to. So
Right.
that right there is a challenge, and it's something that I'm still working on. It's not like I'm going to stop doing it, but it's a matter of doing that. What was it? That the rally that we did a couple weeks ago. That was one of
Mm-hmm.
the things that was trying to just get a gauge on the Black men in the community, because there's so many coming in from California or from wherever that really, we're spread out. They don't know, we don't know each other. So it's just trying to
Yeah.
see, how do we build that solidarity amongst us in the community, because if we don't have a sense of solidarity amongst us, why are we looking, or how are we going to look for somebody else who may not understand the things that we go to or go through to come in and connect in those ways?
Very true.
Yeah. So I mean, everything's a work in progress. Just trying to
Yeah.
stay focused.
Yeah. See, I ask you that because I want to be more involved in the community in things of that nature. Now that I'm back here again, like, settled and shit, like I wanna get back to the community that I grew up in. You know what I'm saying? And I wanna help some kids or anybody, whoever that needs help in our community, because you gotta start with home with the change. If everybody took care of home, the world would be a better place. So I
That is
want to
true.
try to do what I can, here. So that's why I want to, connecting with you is something that I've been looking forward to doing, because I know you have, you know, you've been here and your family's been in this town forever, man. Speaking of which, how long has your family been here?
Oh gosh. So you know what, man? My aunt came out here first, and she came out here in the '70s, man. I
Where
want
you
to
guys
say
originally from?
Louisiana, Monroe,
Okay.
Monroe,
Okay.
Louisiana. Yeah, yeah. My mom's side of the family's from Monroe. My dad's is L.A., but also Pontiac. No, excuse me. No, Detroit. They're from Detroit because see, my mom's biological father is from Pontiac, Michigan. My dad's family, my dad's dad is from Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So we've been out here for a minute. We've been out here for a minute.
I
Oh,
saw
my.
that story. I saw that story that was talking about you and some of the experience that you went through out here. Not surprising, but it was still like I was like, damn. And I was talking to Mo about it, Mo Smith. I don't know if you remember Mo from high school
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I still talk to that dude all the time. We were talking about it. He was like, damn, man, Tony done been through some shit. I was like, yeah. I was like, I get to talk to him about that. I was like, I'm looking forward to the interview because I wanted to ask him about some of
Bruh,
that stuff, man. Like,
man, you know, it's crazy because that wasn't even half of it. Like, because
mm-hmm,
it was, you know, so many people in the article that it was only bits and pieces, you know, as far as the things that happened, you know, to me, or to my family. You know, and it's crazy because again, how people say racism is so far removed from Reno, but you
mm-hmm.
know, anyone who's been around knows that, you know, knows or has heard of that acronym of what Reno stands for. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
when we start getting in these
Exactly. I know exactly what
conversations,
you're talking about.
yeah, but when we get
Yeah.
in these conversations, it's like, you know,
I
you
used to
have to
hear it more in the
understand,
90s, though.
huh?
It was more prevalent in the 90s, though, I think. I heard it more then. I haven't really heard it as much
Mm-hmm.
now, but I used to hear it back then a lot, like
Oh,
in high
definitely.
school and shit, for real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely high school. Yeah. But it's funny that you know, because you can see these people, you can see people who are putting stuff in there, and so my cousin said that I had to mention Afro kicks,
Yeah, yeah.
which is funny because that was a soccer team that I started,
Mm-hmm.
and it was primarily because of when my boys started playing soccer. You know, when we went out there, there was really no one that looked like us out there, and
Coaching.
just playing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, they became interested in it because, you know, my mentor, my sister, my current boss, her son played soccer. So, you
Okay.
know, they didn't I was pretty much done playing by the time they got to age, you know, playing football. So they wasn't really around to see football, but they connected with him in soccer. So they wanted to try
Mm-hmm.
it. And we went out there, couldn't find a team. So I created a team. And the first year we
Mm-hmm.
played, we got mollywopped. I think we won one game. Like we was getting whooped.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the thing was the reason that I created Afro Kicks was because there were no kids who looked like my boys, but some of the coaches weren't really like too thrilled, or I'm not gonna say too thrilled, but weren't as welcoming. It was kind of like, you know, black kids playing soccer. Black kids don't play soccer. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, maybe not as much in the United States, but if you go to Africa, if you go to South
Mm-hmm.
America,
Yeah.
you see a lot of, if you go to Europe, you see a lot
Yeah.
of black athletes playing soccer. So that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of how that got started. And it was literally, I wanted to get kids who probably wouldn't have played soccer to play soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about it, you know, when I thought about Kobe Bryant, Odell Beckham,
Mm-hmm.
they all played soccer. They all started with that. So it was like, you know, this is another sport. It's a natural progression. Why not play?
Yeah. Now, were you familiar with the sport enough to start coaching it, or did you have to like read up or on anything?
Brother, I was familiar enough to know that you kick the ball,
You score the goals.
or you take the ball. You can't use your hands unless you're the goalie.
Yeah.
That was it.
Basic rules.
That was it. Yeah, 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 yeah. And you know, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
But you know, again, it was just one of those things that it would have been easy for me to just start coaching football. I played that my entire life.
Yeah.
It was a challenge. And so I was like, you know what, I'm up for the opportunity only to show my boys and to show the little kiddos that were on the team that, hey, we all in this together and learning together.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, we gonna fail or succeed together.
Right.
And real talk, let's see. After that season, I don't think we had a losing season again. Yeah.
At what age of kids are you coaching?
So when my boys started, they were 5, but now they're on to another team. But I have 5 and 6-year-olds.
Oh, so that's what you stay coaching?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Man, any higher, if I go to like 11, 12, they're gonna be teaching me.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I know my limitations of where I need to stick. It's like, hey, my goal is to get you to love the game. And then if you love it and want to keep playing,
yeah,
I'm gonna find coaches that want, that can help you progress in that. That
right.
Man.
Right.
Nah, I know my limitations, bro.
Smart man. Smart man. Man, so let's talk about you and the photography, man. When did you first start shooting?
Oh gosh. It's funny because I was actually having a conversation with somebody about this. I started shooting back in, I'd say, middle and high school. And this was, of course, with 35 millimeter film, of course, but I also loved the 110, which a lot of people didn't rock with the 110, that film. So I started then, and just played around with it. I played around with it for a very long time, but, it was, of course, not cool. So, in high school, I didn't do the photo club because it was like, come on, they corny, man. They ain't shooting nothing cool.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I would shoot again 35 millimeter Polaroid, but I didn't get serious. Man, until my first son. And the reason why I got serious with it then is because I was looking back at the lack of baby pictures that I had, for myself.
It was a lot harder to take pictures back then too.
Yeah.
And get good ones.
Because some of the ones that I find, it's like, where my face at? I can't tell that's my face. I can see, resemblance of it. But it was when my first son was born. I would say that I went and purchased a new camera, which was crazy because, of all places, I went to Walmart. And this was back in California. I went to Walmart and they had it on sale. And it was a $400 camera. It was a Nikon D40. And I think it was around 200. It was around $300 at the time, or about four, because it was a kit and everything. Yeah. So it was originally like $400. I think I got it for like $150. And this was just walking in Walmart, looked in this bin and was like, for sale.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what got me back into it.
Did you take photography in high school?
No.
The class? You didn't take the class?
No, man. Wasn't nobody cool taking photography, man. Or
I ain't going front, bro. I actually took photography my senior year because I wanted an easy class.
Okay. No, you know what? You know what got me really going in high school though? My girlfriend at the time, she was actually modeling.
Okay.
So it was one of those things where, it was like, oh, you should take pictures, like as in me getting pictures taken. I was like, nah, let me take the pictures, let me be the photographer. That's where I'm more comfortable. And so it was honestly kicking it with her that got me started doing it again. It was just like, oh, I can do this.
So when did you go from just shooting again to like, I'm gonna do the shoot first thing, and I still wish I had one of them damn shirts, man, when you had the camera with the beanie on.
What's that shirt you wear?
Large, XL, or large or XL if you got it.
Hold on right quick.
I didn't know he was gonna go right now. I said it because the shirt's tight. That's why. Sorry, I made him go away.
I got it.
I was letting him know.
No,
okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, I was just making sure I still had it, but I got.
Okay, we'll make a trade then. We'll make a trade. I got shirts too, so we'll make a trade.
Oh, that's what's up. Come on, man. I had to make the conversation a little interesting. I just pop in, pop out, type deal.
Man, so when did you like I said? So when did you start like going and like shooting for other people and like
I
when
would
did you really
say,
go like okay, I'm gonna start doing that?
okay, so I would say I started doing that about 8 years ago.
Okay.
About 8 years ago, because it was like, of course, I was just shooting my son. And every now and then, I would shoot my wife.
Mm-hmm.
But people started seeing it. It was like, oh, okay, you actually know what you're doing. I'm like, well, yeah, I know what I'm doing. But yeah, I'd say about 8 years ago.
Okay.
About 8.
Do you have a little setup at the crib or whatever, like, or do you just, or do you just, oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, there was a like being out here. Being out here is interesting. Because as long as I've been out here, I don't really know a lot of photographers.
It's funny because it seems like I only know a couple, which the homies or whatever, like you, Caesar, you know what I'm saying, a couple other
Mm-hmm.
cats, but like it seems like I'm noticing more people that are like on Instagram, photographers from Reno, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know them personally, but I am seeing them, but I don't know them. I think it's the next generation. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right. Yeah, yeah. And that's what I thought too, because it was like, okay, in our demographics or in our age group, there wasn't really a lot of them that were, I would say at the time, open to shooting. It was like,
mm-hmm.
you're a black photographer. Y'all don't exist. And so most of the cats that I started, connecting with were via technology. So via
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, via Facebook. So
Mm-hmm.
most of the photographers I know are out of town.
Yeah.
Or you'll get individuals who are on here and like, yeah, let's meet up, let's shoot, let's connect. But then it never comes into fruition. So it's like, okay, I'll just keep shooting the way what I'm doing, and
Right.
it is what it is. But no, there's a
Yeah.
few dope photographers out here, man. Like these
Mm-hmm.
youngsters are killing it right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm
I have seen some good stuff. I
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
have seen some good stuff. But let me see. What was I gonna say? I had a question too. Um, oh, have you ever done a like a gallery or like what I'm saying, like where you'd have like prints up and maybe for sale or anything? Is it something you
No.
want to do eventually, like one day, if
You know
everything
what?
gets back to that point where we can?
Actually, for me, it was a matter of purchasing a building to try to create a gallery. Only because again, it's one of those things that with photography,
That would be dope, dude.
yeah, man,
That's something maybe we should talk about. Like that would be
yeah,
dope, dude.
yeah, yeah,
Like, I never thought
like
about that, but that would be a gallery would be
yeah,
dope.
yeah. Like I've always thought about doing a collection and then putting them up, because I have so many things going on in my head about different things that I want to shoot, that
Mm-hmm.
that ultimately is my goal, is to own a gallery. And of course, every now and then maybe throw some of my work in there. But for me, it's
Mm-hmm.
highlighting all of these individuals that I see that I'm just like, bro, or even sis, your stuff is crazy.
Yeah,
Because like I said, I
yeah,
see so many dope photographers. And
yeah.
it's one of those things that, because I'm always trying to connect, it's like, with this younger generation, younger than that's shooting now, but getting them interested in liking photography at a young age. My oldest, who he'll turn 10 in August, he already has his camera.
I saw you. I've seen over the years you letting him shoot stuff. His
Yeah,
pictures
man.
weren't bad at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what, he didn't had a few of them where I'm like, well, damn, that looks really good. So and he's into the technology aspect of it. So from him learning how to shoot, learning the different settings and all of that, to then putting it into Lightroom or Photoshop and trying to do something different like that, he's all for it. So I'm all about giving him that opportunity, man. But and again, giving other youngsters opportunities, to go out and create. So yeah, we need to connect
I
with the
used
gallery.
to I used to say when we were moving back, I was telling my wife, I was like, I want to do something where you like for like there's no kind of like media school or like music school for like producers or engineers and
None.
something like that, or even like you can add in like photography with that as well. You know what I'm saying? Just like media, creative stuff, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like there's no kind of creative school. So like to like try to build something like that here. And, you know, it would have to start small. It would have to be like maybe like 5 students or whatever, but then you grow it. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I've really thought about. So it's like, yeah, there's a lot of just ways to like give back. You know what I'm saying? Because like there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing here like that for kids, man. There's nothing here where if you want to be like a producer and you want to go to school for it, there's no options here, you know,
Right.
or you can do it online or something, but it's not the same as being in the class.
Right. And you know, and you have some of these, you know, career or technical schools that are out here, but you have to have a certain GPA. You have to have, you know, your behavior has to be impeccable, where you can't have anything that's going on. And so, you know, once you start looking into the breakdowns of that, it excludes a great deal of students who want to create, whose mind is geared towards creating and being creative, but it becomes stagnant because, you know, as you matriculate in school, it's you sit here and you get this information. Or, you know, it's privy to one style of creating instead of letting them find their voice within that creation, you know, or within whatever it is that they're doing, whether it be music, whether it be photography, whether it be, you know, videography. It's
you just give them the tools and show them how to use it and let them create. You know what I'm saying? Don't dictate what they create. Just,
exactly.
You know, let them, you know, here you go. This is how you use it. This is what, these are some, you know, things you can do. Bam, go break the rules. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm all about breaking the rules when it comes to art, man. It's like nothing is what they say. It is what you believe it to be. So
they're guidelines. They're not laws. They're just guidelines.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they told me in school. They're like, all this stuff we're telling you, this, you should know it. And once you know it, then you can break it.
Exactly.
Because now you know why you're doing it. You know why. You're like, okay, this is why I'm supposed to, but I don't want to do it because I want this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Once
and
you get to that point, then, that's how you get creative.
Yeah, and it's like, do it. Don't read about it. Don't watch somebody else do it. Just do it. Grab a camera, grab a disposable camera, grab your phone. It don't matter. If you're going to shoot, just shoot. Because I've seen people with, you know, with camera phones that have crazy work.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, I got partners just like, okay, you shot that with a camera phone. Yeah. Do it.
I mean, iPhone camera, you know, that shit is amazing.
Yeah.
That new one I got on my phone, I love it.
Bro, from that to even, you know, creating these videos, it's like, hold on, you created that video on your phone. You edited it on your phone. It's like, you know, give these kids the tools, they'll create anything, man.
That's what I'm saying. There's talent in the schools. You know there's kids that are, you know, that are, whether they got their little computer and they're making their shit at home, or, you know, they got their camera or they got their phone and they're shooting and they want to do stuff. Like, there's nowhere for them to go, okay, I'm doing this, but I want to learn more, but I want to be here. Like, where can I learn here? You just got to go and, like, teach yourself on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. That's it.
Yeah.
I would like to be a person here. You know what I'm saying? Like, to help a person, like, you know, to help a kid like that.
Even
that's what I want to do. Like,
even if it's just that launching pad, it's like, you know, we're gonna get you started, and then once you progress or once you feel like you're comfortable enough to leave, do it. Do it. Because I mean, if you think about it, all of us did it. All of us left, and it was a matter of when we came back, we had a whole different perspective on things that were going on here.
Now, where'd you go when you left?
So, the last time I left, I moved back to LA.
Okay.
I moved to LA. And I was out there for a minute, and then I ended up moving to the Bay. And that's where my oldest son, that's where he was born, in the Bay. And then everything that happened, you know, with with the whole financial meltdown and everything that was going on around 2010, we moved back here. And the goal was to be here for, you know, 5-year maximum. And that 5 is going on 10 now. So I don't know what the heck happened. I don't even know, man.
Yeah, I moved back in 2010. When you moved, I moved back in 2010 about the same time. And I came from SAC because I was in SAC for like 13 years.
Yeah.
But I came from SAC. When I left here, I went to LA. And then I went back home to the Bay. And then wife was like, "You should just move back to Reno. It's cheaper. We just cashed this house out." I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and get up out of here because babies are starting to get crazy, man. As much as it's home, it was starting to get real crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Traffic wise, I'm sitting in traffic just to go to work, 2 hours, like 30 miles. I'm going. It's like takes me 2.5 hours total to go. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not. It just
Yeah.
wasn't the quality of life wasn't there like it used to be.
But it was crazy because once I moved back here, I was like, okay, I need to get back to LA. Like I was actually more comfortable in the traffic.
Hey, LA was cool though. I liked LA, man. I liked
LA
a lot.
You know, because
I really did.
I went to school out there. I went to MI out there because you went to the LA recording recording school, right? Okay, yeah. I went to Musicians Institute.
Okay, I know. I was right on the corner. Yeah.
Yep. So I was a part of their first graduating class from the music business program.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it was just one of those things. It was just like, you know, this is where I feel most comfortable being out here. You know, my folks is out here. Everybody who was trying to accomplish and do the same things I was lived in LA. Mm-hmm. So it was like, why do I want to go anywhere else?
Mm-hmm.
But then once you get married, you know, and things change.
Yeah.
Wife was like, nah, I'm not going to LA.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely understand that, man. Shit. Hey, you know Cap, don't you?
Yeah.
How do you know him?
So I met him when he was balling out here. And then like I had moved back to California. Mm-hmm. So then one of my god brother, my real close homeboy, Mike Smith, him and Cap used to ball together in the sense of, you know, Cap went to the same church. So they
okay.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. So, you know, it was a reintroduction of sorts. Both, and you know, it was a connection there. And then, you know, through Mike, we stayed connected. So it wasn't one of those things that, you know, because again, there's an age difference. So it was with my younger brother, you know, in a sense, that's how Cap and I reconnected and was reintroduced and stuff like that.
Do you think he'd ever do a Know Your Rights camp out here?
Anything's possible. We'll say that. Anything's possible.
Okay, because I was just about, because you know I'm doing the fundraiser thing or whatever, and I'm going to be donating half of the proceeds that I get to the Know Your Rights camp, and the other half to Micaiah Lee's GoFundMe.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing with that, and yeah, and I saw on the website it asks like, yeah, you know, they're like, due to overwhelming demand, we're not taking requests for the next cities, but we're about to start again. And I was like, he needs to come to Reno. Like Reno would be, I think that would be a good place. But I guess it depends on if his relationship with UNR, if they stop tripping and put his pictures up and quit acting like he ain't the most famous dude to ever come up out of there.
I mean, you know what? Let me be honest with you, man. I don't even think it's about UNR. I don't, because you know when, you know, just like the NFL, they're eating crow right now, because ultimately everything that he stood for, everything that he kneeled for, is being shown and spotlighted.
So now you see it this time because your ass was at home and you had to see it. You had to see it this time. That's what it was.
Exactly. But you know, and one of the things, because we've all had this conversation, I've had several conversations with Mike about doing that out here. But my biggest thing is, in order to do something like that, it's like, what are you doing now? You know, before I even fix my mouth to tell Cap, hey man, you know, why don't y'all do a Know Your Rights, you know, camp out here? I know that one of the questions is going to be, well, what are y'all doing now? You know, because it, and I'm not speaking for him, but if I was in that situation, it was like, I'm not coming to a place to do something where there's not going to be any follow-up.
Right.
You know, once I'm gone, because this is, you know, I played ball here, I have connections here, but I don't live here. What are y'all going to do to continue to do what you're, you know, what we've talked about to help inspire the youth, to get them to understand and know what's going on in the world, which was kind of where I was going with that, you know, with that rally. It was like, I need to know who's here, because I can't do it all by myself. I need to know what youth are here because I need to know what y'all want. You know, I need to hear you. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be one of those individuals who, because because I did it back in my day. Come on, man, that was the '90s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a
It's a
whole
little
lot
different.
different now. Yeah,
A little
yeah.
different.
So now that it being 2020, I want to hear y'all voice because there are rooms that I'm privy to be in that you may not, but at least you have a voice in that room that's speaking for
Right.
y'all on
Right.
behalf of
Right.
y'all.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel like when programs, growing up, when programs, whether it was here in California, when programs were being designed, that the young voice was in the room. It was just a bunch of old people who thought that they knew what was best, and
Mm-hmm.
it just didn't happen.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I guess to answer your question, anything is possible with that. But
Yeah.
again, I personally would want to have something already going on, so it would be a complement to what's going on already in the city.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Man, so what's next for you? Like creatively, life wise, like what's the next thing on your plate?
Well, I'm still, I work for the school district, so I'm still coming in and doing the things necessary in our department around having these conversations around disproportionality and systemic things that are challenging for our students of color or just for any marginalized population within the school district. So I'm still doing that. I'm never going to stop doing that in some capacity. But as far as work, that's what I'm doing. Um, as far as, photography and stuff, I'm just still shooting, just trying to, get that 10,000 hours in some way, shape, or form. So I'm still doing that. Looking for people to create with, because I'm all about that. I'm all about, collaborating, as we've done with your song,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy dope, by the way. You know what I'm
Thank you.
saying?
Thank you.
Man, I'm telling you, when you sent it to me, it was just like, I was like, oh, okay, I see what he on right now. That's what's
I
up.
was mad, bro. I was mad, man. I needed to
Hey,
get that out, dog. So I think I
yeah, man.
really needed to do that. I was in a weird place. So I kind of needed to do that. You know what I'm saying? And it made me feel better. So, you
Yeah,
know.
we still got to figure out somewhere to. We still need to figure out where you can do that live, because
Yeah,
because
yeah. I mean, I'm
it's
open.
it's
I'm open to that.
okay.
I'm definitely open to that.
Yeah, because
So, I mean,
it was like I felt the passion in the song based off what you sent me
mhm.
live. I know it's just gonna be crazier.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it would be because that's different right there, man. You got people out there, stuff. Yeah, that would definitely be a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? But that's something in that I would definitely be open to. When you
Okay.
first asked me about that, I was like, oh shit, you don't want to do it? Like I had to think about it. I got
Yeah.
like nervous and shit. I'm like, why am I nervous right now? Like, what is? And I thought about it and I played the song. I'm like, yeah, I want to do the song. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then that's why I was like, yeah, man, I'm down. You know what I'm saying? But for a minute, I was like, then I thought like, why did I even trip out for a minute? It was weird. Maybe because I don't know if I was ready to perform it.
No, I feel it.
But I
I
ran
feel it.
through it a couple times. I was like, yeah, I'm ready. Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No. No. I definitely feel that. I definitely understand that. It was kind of like, like I said earlier, this interview was like, do I really want to get up here and
Yeah.
have a conversation? But no,
Well, I'm glad you did.
hey, yeah, man, I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate you, bringing me on, because it's interesting to have a voice. And, when you have individuals who provide you with a platform to share your voice, it's super, it's super humbling. It's super humbling and appreciative.
I feel I don't know. I kind of feel like this is it's really becoming something more positive with everything that's going on. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's something at first. Like I just wanted to like talk to my creative friends and talk about creative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, being with everything going on, there's no way I'm not gonna have to talk about it. Like, there's no way I can just do this show or do this and be like, so man, how's fucking creating? And there's all
Right,
the shit
right,
going on in the background. I would be tone deaf. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And I just feel like it's just been a great way to figure out and find out various people's thoughts
Hmm.
and perspectives on situations. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's just really been dope. And I'm super glad that people have been receptive and people have been so willing to come on and do that. So thank you. I really
No,
appreciate
no, heck no. It's dope, man. Like I said, it's super dope. But before, because I know you kind of have a time limit on when you
No,
want
I'm just making sure I don't get cut off by Instagram. It's an hour.
Oh, work.
You can go live for an hour. We got like 9 minutes. We got like 9
Okay,
minutes.
cool. You remember RBP?
Yes.
Reno Black
Yes.
Paparazzi.
Yes. Yes. I do. That was when I didn't even really know how to shoot yet. I was still shooting on automatic settings and shit. I wasn't even real with it yet.
Man. Yeah, man. And it was like, see, I'm in my comfort zone. I'm with my brothers.
Yeah.
We all learning together. Let's do this, man.
Well, I mean, now I'm like, I was gonna say too. I would definitely love to shoot with you and pick your brain on stuff. You know, just fuck around and shoot somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Man,
a
I'm
social
always.
distancing thing you can do. You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like I ain't gotta be, we ain't gotta be touching each other to
Exactly.
learn, from each other. So, oh yeah, definitely. Because like I said, man, it's just like there's a scene out here for photography. I'm just not I'm not in the loop of it. I don't know if it's just because of the age difference, because of perception. Hopefully people will watch this and realize that I'm a really nice guy.
I'm a swell guy. Honest.
Yeah, man. Love everybody. No, I'm just but no, man, yeah, we can definitely do that because even you do a little bit of the videography also.
A little
And I've
bit,
been
a little
trying
bit. I try not to really claim it because I don't
yeah,
feel like I'm there yet, especially working with a video production company now. I don't even
yeah.
like to claim that I shoot video, but I do a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, but see, that little bit is more than what I do. So if I can pick your brain on stuff like that, just
Mhm.
the editing aspect of it, or even what type of equipment to get, because again, I still shoot with Nikon, and I'm shooting with the D610 right now, and the video on that isn't the greatest, with everybody with all these new things coming out with
Mhm.
from Sony, from Fuji, from all these, Canon.
Yeah,
It's just like, trying to make sure that I'm up to par to at least be able to shoot something quality or as far as video. So
yeah, yeah, definitely. I just got a new camera. I bought a refurbished T7 because I was still
okay.
shooting on that old ass camera that I had back in RVP days.
Oh damn.
I was shooting on a T1, bro.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I feel like I stepped up into like the new millennium with the T7. I'm like, oh my god, this does all types of stuff my other camera didn't do.
Right. Right.
But
No,
yeah, I
I
got a
get
few
it.
lenses and stuff now, so I feel like yeah, I'm definitely ready, man. We should do some stuff. I got a couple zoom lenses. I shoot with a 50 mostly now though. I like
Oh
shooting
yeah.
50.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
I
my
have
favorite now.
either I'll have my 50 or my 24 to 70. But I'm really looking for. I'm thinking about grabbing a 35.
I was just about to say that. I kind of want one. I kind of want one too. So
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I was
Yeah.
definitely thinking about that. I might have to price one.
Oh yeah, I mean, but depending on what if it's a 1.8, 1.4, 1.2,
Mm-hmm.
that's where it's gonna get you right there.
Yeah.
If you want that bigger glass and you go with that 1.2, you about to pay
Yeah. Yeah.
a whole lot more. So, and then the T7 is what? What what company?
Canon.
Yeah, so it's still Canon. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, Canon got some nice lenses. They're L series.
I have three Canon ones, and I have this other one. My 50 is it's called a Young Yao or something like that. It's this other
Okay.
company,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's really nice. I checked out the reviews on it, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
good company. People like it, so and I haven't had any problems with it. I like shooting with it, so I might see what that 35 look like.
Okay. Hell, I might see if they have some for the Nikon.
I think they do. They do. I want to say they do Nikon ones too.
Okay. Yeah, because I believe they make flashes also, because I think I had a flash from them that was pretty, like an external flash on top or whatever. But yeah, I think that I had one or two from them that work, that still works. So no complaints here. None at all.
Yeah, man. We gonna get together on this photography, man. Definitely, because now I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
the camera. I'm like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go shoot some things. So
That's what's up. Oh, yeah. One thing that because you asked me what's next, is I'm definitely trying to get a little studio going.
You did say that. Yo, man,
Yeah.
that would be dope.
Yes, I'm trying to do something, because you can you can only do so much at the house, because you don't want everybody coming to the house. So
I feel
to
right
eliminate,
now.
yeah, but just to eliminate that traffic, because again, depending on what it is that I'm shooting, or stuff like that, or how creative I want to be, to have just a space to be able to do those things would be great.
Yeah.
So at some point.
Nah, it'll happen. It'll happen.
Yeah.
Well, my brother, I want to thank you for the time. This time went super quick, man. I knew it would. Like I said, I've been looking forward to talking to you. So I was like, yeah, this interview with Tony gonna be tight. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate your time, man. I appreciate your insight, sharing your story. You know what I'm saying? You're a very interesting dude. So I was like, yeah, I know it's gonna be a good conversation.
Man, I tried. I was nervous. Like I said, I was sitting there telling my wife, I was like, man, I don't even know if I want to do this. I was like, it say 15 minutes, so we're going to see if it just lasts 15 minutes or how long it lasts. But nah, always appreciative of you, my brother, and, you bringing me on and us chopping it up about different things, because, one of the things that it was like, okay, what are we going to talk about? Because if it's just about everything that's going on right now, I'm kind of tapped out.
No. I definitely don't want to do that. Exactly.
No, but I'm saying, because again, what's going on is affecting so many of us, and to have that conversation, that one-on-one genuine conversation between, two individuals who have experienced in some way, shape, or form what's going on in the world, we could have definitely got lost in that conversation.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because I am sort of creative, although I want to be like you and get my stuff on the wall. My walls are bare right now, man. They're so bare.
You gotta get your shots on your walls, man.
I have them in frames. I just ain't put them up.
No, you tripping. Okay.
I know.
I'm getting that 2-minute warning.
All right.
So I'm gonna say thank you, man, once again. And I'm gonna be in contact with you, man. We talked about a lot of things that I want to talk about further.
Okay.
Whether it's shooting and whether it's more stuff being involved in the community and everything. We definitely got some things to talk about. So I will be in contact, man, within the next couple of days. For sure.
No problem, my brother. Thank you again. I appreciate it.
Hey.
Great conversation.
Of course, man. All right, bro. Take care of yourself, all right?
Hey, you too.
All right.
All right, then.
Would like to thank my boy Tony, aka Shoot First, for stopping by tonight. I really appreciated getting the chance to talk to him. Like I said, I've known him for years, but sometimes you don't know everything about a person. And it's not like I wanted to know everything, but I got to know a little bit more. But yeah, he's definitely somebody you should follow on here. His photography's dope, and he's giving back to the community. So he's also somebody you should keep an eye on as well. Thank all of you for taking the time to listen. I hope you enjoyed what we spoke about. Tomorrow I will be back at 3 p.m. with my sister, Helena Golaw. She is from New York, and she is a creative who works for Apple. So we're going to talk about her job and her experiences in New York and how she's doing with my niece, because I miss her. So I hope everybody has a great night. Stay safe, stay aware. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.